comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verses 24 through 39. This week's story is set in the section of Matthew called the Sermon on the Mount. The sermon follows Jesus' call to disciples and summarizes Jesus' teaching about living as a community of God's people. How do you experience God hearing you? How do you experience God knowing you? And how do you experience God's love for you? Our reading today will be from the Message translation. A student doesn't get a better desk than her teacher. A laborer doesn't make more money than his boss. Be content, pleased, even when you, my students, my harvest hands, get the same treatment that I get. If they call me the master, dumb face, then what can you workers expect? Don't be intimidated. Eventually, everything will be out in the open, and everyone will know how things really are. Do not hesitate to go public now. Don't be bluffed into silence by the threats of bullies. There is nothing that they can do to your soul, your core being. Save your fear for God, who holds your entire life, body and soul, in his hands. What's the price of a pet canary? Some loose change, right? And God cares what happens to it even more than you do? Yeah. He pays greater attention to you, down to the last detail, even numbering the hairs on your head. So don't be intimidated by the bully talk. You're worth more than 1,000,000 canaries. Stand up for me against the world's opinion, and I'll stand for you before my Father in heaven. If you turn tail and run, do you think I'll cover for you? Don't think I've come to make life cozy. I've come to cut. Make a sharp knife cut between son and father, daughter and mother, bride and mother-in-law. Cut through those cozy domestic arrangements and free you for God. Well-meaning family members can be your worst enemies. If you prefer father or mother over me, you don't deserve me. If you prefer son or daughter over me, you don't deserve me. If you don't go all the way with me through thick and thin, you don't deserve me. If your first concern is to look after yourself, you'll never find yourself. But if you forget about yourself and look to me, you will find both yourself and me. Here ends the reading of the gospel. Children, would you like to go on down?